Guys, a few years back I made a few knives for my brothers. This was the first few knives I ever made. Store-bought stuff, putting antler handles on them. This is a big Mora here. It's got a tang on it. I didn't pin these, I was just learning. But it's pretty cool to see how far someone's, progress has come. That's one of the first sheaths, and I decided to go ahead and make him a new one here. Figured I'd go with some copper rivets. I'll go ahead and keep the collar up here. He liked that style. He's a lefty, so just neat seeing the progress. You learn from people on YouTube, and just from experience. Thought I had more footage of this, showing off how to plan it on paper first and then transfer it to the leather, cut it out, and you have a little less waste that way. But anyway, we'll get her stitched up. I'll probably use the white thread. It's somewhere around here, but I figure white thread and some brass rivets would look good with it. So I got a little tip for these rivets. I don't know if they're designed to be snug when you got thicker leather, of course. Press these on a little bit so they kind of stay where they are, and then you cut that to a certain length. You'll have to play with it and get the size you want, and then slowly tap and mushroom that out so where it holds the rivet on well, or the washer. I figured I'd go ahead and I made me a little tool here that is just gently domed right here, and then I'll tap that the hole in the washer to make the hole smaller, so to speak, so it fits snugger on the rivet. And then when you press them on here, they stay in place, and I think it makes a better job. Just a little tip on that. Just take your gently tap it in until it gets a little snug, and then once you put that on the leather, I'll just come up with an old socket that's big enough and tap that down onto the shaft of the rivet, and then it stays in place. You can cut your end off and tap your end flat. Anyway, little tip. Just give it a few taps and it holds pretty good, and then you can either start tapping that down or cut off a little bit and then mushroom it out. I'll show a little bit of that here in a minute. Just go to however you think looks good. I could have chopped a little more off of that. Sometimes you can use side cuts on that to trim them down a little bit, but that dude ain't going nowhere for sure.